Hello nerds and nerdettes, welcome back to the channel where once again we have another new video for you guys. It being Monday and tomorrow Tuesday the 14th being Valentine's Day, I figured what better way to celebrate the holiday of Valentine's Day than go over 5 amazing books that will be great gift ideas or just great books to read with our significant others. But before we get into the listing, there are 2 mentions that I want to make. One, obviously, if you are looking for any of these books or any book for a significant other that's really into comic books, head on over to Organic Price Books. Use the code STAYNERDY to save $2 off at checkout. It not only helps support the guys at Organic Price Books, which is an amazing company, but it does help the channel quite a bit as well. Another great idea is heading on over to shopslateboutique.com, where you can also use the code STAYNERDY to save some money at checkout as well. A great minority-owned small business that has an amazing selection of clothes if you're shopping for a lady, and there's no better feeling than not only getting great selection, great packaging, but also helping an amazing small business grow and flourish. So those are 2 great ideas other than the books that are in this listing. But with that being said, we can go ahead and jump into the top 5 list. But I'm first going to start with a couple honorable mentions. They're going to be a little bit broad, but I feel like they should definitely be mentioned before moving forward into what I think are the best 5 books to either get for your partner or read with your partner. First honorable mention is relationship, wedding, anniversary themed books. I thought it was a little bit of a cop-out to include this in the top 5, but there are a large number of books for Batman and Catwoman, obviously Superman and Lois Lane. There's also a book right here, maybe we'll cut that, that has to do with Spider-Man and Mary Jane. There's also the Cyclops and Jean Grey wedding omnibus. There's a whole slew of books that are pretty much completely and totally relationship based throughout comics. So those are obviously great selections, but I felt like it wasn't very creative or a little bit of a cop-out to throw these obvious picks into the top 5 listing for this video. But we can move to the next honorable mention, which is going to be a little bit of a broad brush, but it's going to be indie comics and manga, because I think those are probably your 2 best publishers or book distributors or category, if you will, that you're going to find books that are going to be very much for anyone. It's going to have multiple layers as far as maybe action, adventure, romance, a whole mess and jumble of different genres in one title. Probably sticking to the manga and indie comic category is probably going to be your best bet. We have a couple honorable mentions. One, Tokyo Revengers has some romance undertones, but also time traveling, action. Vinland Saga, the first half of this series being very action-based and very violent, but the later portion, middle to later portion, having a lot to do with growth, hope, family, love. The Girl from the Other Side, also very good. Almost reads kind of like a Disney-style story, but a little bit more mature. A lot of fun. It has a very intriguing undertone. And then for indies, we have Paper Girls, a time-traveling adventure that follows 4 Paper Girls. Monstrous, a dark fantasy with a female lead character, lots of fun and intriguing characters that come up, a very vast roster of characters that you 2 can learn together. And The Wicked and the Divine, gods keep being reincarnated into young people, lots of teen angst, drama, all the good stuff. But that does finish up the honorable mentions of relationship books, manga, and indie. So we will jump into the first book of the actual list. Keep in mind, I tried to pull one from each kind of category between manga, indie, and each of the big two, and then I pulled the ultimate, or what I deem as the ultimate romance book that's good for whoever may be reading. But we can go ahead and start with number 5. First up is going to be Ultimate X-Men, the omnibus, younger styled X-Men, so you are going to get that teen angst, drama-filled kind of storytelling that both parties may enjoy, but there's also a whole lot of action, violence, superhero stuff throughout for my male viewers. There's also quite a bit of romance throughout. There's love triangles, there's actual full-blown romance that's actually successful. There's also a character in here that has a beautiful coming out story as well. This pretty much checks all the same boxes as long as you can kind of turn a blind eye to the edginess, early 2000s kind of storytelling and character designs. But it definitely is for any reader that is into X-Men, and if you're into the Marvel world and want to dive into that with your partner, whoever they may be, this is a great kind of starting point that really delves into multiple genres as well as starts from ground zero, so you don't really need any prior knowledge. But that's probably the best one, at least in my collection, that I could think of for a romance-filled day that you want to dive into with your partner and just start flipping some pages. So that does wrap up Marvel, so we'll move to number 4, which will be the category for DC, which is going to be Teen Titans by Jeff Johns, for a lot of the same reasons that Ultimate X-Men made it onto the list, but I think done way better because it is written by the amazing Jeff Johns that just knows how to write comic books. But you do have teen angst in here, you have a lot of drama, you have a lot of great friendships that really flourish throughout this book, as well as a decent amount of romance, especially pertaining to Superboy and Wonder Girl. Some of my most memorable relationship style scenes actually happen in this run. Really makes you feel young again, makes you feel that feeling of having that girl you like in high school or something like that. Just makes you feel young overall in all aspects. And similar to Ultimate X-Men, you have a lot of strong and powerful young male characters as well as female characters throughout. So this kind of ticks all the boxes as well and has a little bit of something for everyone. The only slight drawback is a portion of this omnibus does take place during the Infinite Crisis event, so that does interfere a little bit. But I think you can kind of understand the event or the thing that happens that changes the tone of the story and some of the relationships and how characters kind of handle themselves. So I don't think it intervenes too much to the point it's unreadable. It's just that's really the only point that I guess you may need a little bit of prior knowledge. But even then, the writing, the art, everything about it I think is amazing. And anybody that's into superheroes or comic books would absolutely probably be jaw-dropped by this omnibus, and it's great for any type of reader. But that does wrap up number 4, so we'll move to number 3, which is going to be my first indie title, which is going to be Black Sad. The main reason I chose this because it has beautiful, immaculate art. I think a lot of people that are a fan of Disney movies or that kind of cartoony, almost more geared towards younger audience style of art would absolutely love this book. The art just blows you away. The one thing I do want to warn readers of, this is not for children though at all. This is an adult story 100%. Trust me on that. But you do have mystery elements, you have action, you have intriguing characters, mysterious characters, you have a little bit of romance, a little bit of forbidden love, all the stuff that we crave on that Valentine's Day night. And it pretty much ticks all those boxes, and I actually read this personally with my significant other, Mrs. Nerd, and we both absolutely loved it. It was a lot of fun. It had, like I said, those Disney elements, but felt for people our age, and we really enjoyed that. And I can't recommend it enough for any reader, really, but if you want something that kind of dips into all genres, which is obviously a similar theme for all these books, hence them being on the list, but dips into all genres, but is also just breathtaking art and very well written, then Black Sad is your book. But that does wrap up number 3, so we'll move to number 2, which is going to be the first manga to appear on the list, which is going to be A Silent Voice. I'm sure if you guys have seen my collection, you probably saw this coming, much like you probably see my number 1 pick coming as well. But this is pretty much a romance series. It's a little bit of a slice of life as well, but it ticks all the boxes once again that a lot of people want. That forbidden love, the good girl falling for the bad boy, or the bad boy falling for the good girl kind of story trope, all gets explored through here with a little bit of a twist, being that the female character in this, it cannot speak, and the male character in this is actually her high school bully, and you pretty much follow them through their lives and see them grow, not only together, but grow into just more responsible, more respectful adults. And it's really a beautiful story. It's a tearjerker for a lot of people, and this is exactly why Indian manga category is going to be probably your best bet for finding something that you and your partner are going to like, because these kind of stories just exist there, and it's really a lot of fun. Amazing art once again. It just got collected in these oversized complete collection editions, hardcover, absolutely beautiful books. There's 2 volumes, so not too much bang for your buck, or not too much money to spend for just 2 volumes, but absolutely great title. Ticks all the boxes once again, and definitely something that anybody would like, especially if you like kind of the romance realm, which is what this book exists in. But that does wrap up number 2, so we will head to number 1, which will be my top choice of book that you can read with your significant other, which is going to be none other than Saga. I'm sure all of you saw this coming. Pretty much a cosmic sci-fi take on Romeo and Juliet. Once again, that forbidden love style of story. Lots of action throughout, lots of adventure. You get a hint of mystery here and there, some supernatural elements as well. Everything is in this book, and it is also beautifully written. This is probably somewhere in my top 10 to top 5 comics that I've ever read. Absolutely breathtaking. This is a story, a book that not only anytime any type of reader comes to me and asks what I should read, I always recommend Saga, but I definitely also recommend it to my female readers all the time. When they come to me and say, what should I read first? This is top of the list. It ticks every box that you could possibly want on a romantic day, as well as every box that you would want to be ticked for any style of reader, whether it's male, female, whatever it may be. Absolutely amazing story, amazing writing, and art, once again, in this book is beyond breathtaking. And even if it's not for Valentine's Day, I highly recommend you to check out Saga. But that's exactly why it's number 1 on my list, because there's nothing better to read with your significant other, or in general at points, than Saga by Brian K. Vaughan. But that does wrap up today's list. So that does wrap up today's video. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for 500 subscribers, as well as all of the love and support during this period of me doing YouTube videos. Again, I'm just speechless. Every time I want to thank you guys, it's like I can't even formulate the words because I'm just that amazed. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As I said, definitely head on over to Organic Price Books as well as Shop Slate Boutique. 2 great companies, and definitely worthwhile. Great stock, great shipping, great customer service all around. But if there's anything that you feel like I missed, comment down below. Leave your recommendations. together we can probably cover all the bases and make sure nothing's left out for any type of reader that's out there. Also, if you'd like to join the Illuminati, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that bell notification so you can get notified anytime I put out content. Also, check back at Friday's video to make sure, if you are a new subscriber, that you try to get into that giveaway for 500 subscribers. That is still live, and it is live until the 16th of February, which will be this coming Thursday. So make sure you do that. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. As always, happy Valentine's Day to those that celebrate it. And of course, as always, stay nerdy.